Hey, what's going on? I'm your boy, Jody Chocolate Thunder Williams. Be sure to subscribe to my channel at Jody Chocolate Thunder Williams. And this is episode 1 of 4-Way. I'm going to show you how this works. So, 4-Way, because I'm going to have 4 questions. I'm going to give you my thoughts on it. So, the whole purpose of this is that if you want your questions asked, I'll be happy to do that. You can get a hold of me on my YouTube and ask questions under this, or feel free to message me on Facebook, okay? Private message me. So, but keep the questions, appropriate, right? 'Cause I know if you're gonna be a weirdo, then I'm not gonna fucking even go down that road, okay? I'll just let them sit there. So, I'm excited because we're gonna see how this thing kicks off. If it doesn't kick off with a bang, then it'll be short-lived and it'll go in the trash can. Okay, ready for this? Question number 1, it says, because I got them right here. Hey, Jody, what's your thoughts on Travis's comeback next year? Real or fake news? Okay, so this is what I think. He was recently on the Uncle John show with Paul Tilia, and Travis mentioned that usually during the fall season, because his boys are playing college football, that he kind of lays low and he wants to be there for them. Totally get that. But he was kind of training, so he wants to resurface, and he said that he'd love to pull Cody Merritt. Now, if you know Travis, and I think a lot of people got burned to the point where they were like, hey, well, when he had this thing in Texas, where it was Michael Todd versus Travis, he hyped it up and stuff, and everyone tuned in, and all of a sudden they pulled the carpet from everyone's feet, and they did, instead of an actual match, they screwed the table over, did a little boxing thing, whatever. I think that kind of rubbed a lot of people the wrong way. But if you know Travis, he's all about, creating stuff. Here's my take on that. So I always thought if Travis was ever going to get back into the sport of arm wrestling from a competitive side, there's got to be some money. If there's no money involved, he's really not going to do it. Or if he does do it, you're not going to get the best version of him, okay? You got to understand that. That's just where he's at now. He's even said it himself that he makes more money promoting than he ever did, arm wrestling as of now. So it's going to take a lot for someone to roll out that red carpet and say, hey, come get some of this money, so we can make this thing happen. So my take on that is that, we're going to have to wait and see. Because, again, we all know Travis, and Travis is Travis, and he likes to keep everybody on their toes, which is not a bad thing, by the way. So that's question number 1. Question number 2, hey, what's your take on John Brzenk getting active again? And I'm assuming the question is, now that he's pulling everybody, he pulled Chance Shaw. Now he has a match on October 2nd in Texas. And then, of course, the big one he has in October, it's going to be on October 23rd, mind you. It's going to be him and Paul Lynn. So I think because he's not doing the top 8 now, and now, because he even mentioned that he doesn't want to do it, doesn't want to cut down to the weight. He'd rather just say, fuck it. I'd rather drink my beer, be happy, and just pull rather than try to fucking starve yourself and do all that. When you are a legendary person like John and you've reached legendary status, it's kind of hard to know when to quit. You asked John before, I took time off before, I've retired again and all that kind of stuff. He's even said, I'm going to just enjoy my grandkids and that's that, I'm done, whatever. And in some way, somehow, someone dangles that carrot or, some extra moolah, and he comes out and he pulls and that kind of deal. So I am glad. Who doesn't want to see their heroes, right? For some of you guys. I think it's good for the sport. For those who are really new to the sport and all they heard was just the stories about him, they can actually see him in person and stuff. So that's always pretty good. I wish other guys would be as active. I mean, I would love to see, I missed the boat to see people like Johnny Walker compete. I missed that boat. I would love to see him and, Gary Goodrich, I would love to see more of Richard Lucky's, but, we're in Dave Patton, things like that. Cobra's made a comeback, that's awesome. He's one of my heroes, by the way. Actually, I should say one of my idols. My hero is my son, right? So, with that being said, I think it's a good thing for John to come out and people can see him. Now, you got to realize, though, you're not getting a John who's 25 years old, okay? You're getting a 57, I believe, or something like that, version of him. So you got to kind of put that, just remember when you see that, just remember what version you get. Question number 3, arm wrestling in its current state. What do you think about it? Well, the last few years prior to COVID, it was, we always hung our hat on WAL. They always had matches. You're kind of going, oh, okay, you can't wait. That's all you talked about before and after. And now that those guys took a sabbatical and you got other promotions coming in, Paul Atilia, right? Italia Arm Wrestling Promotions, guys like that who are making these matches. And just so you know, if you're wondering, October 16th, right? Justin Bishop, Bill Logsdon, Corey West versus Todd Hutchings. Those are matches that Paul Atilia is putting together. And don't forget, he'll be a part of the Virginia State too. Marquee, Paul Land, Jobbers Inc. Those are Paul Atilia's fingerprints on that. But there's other promoters out there. You still got Bill Collins. You still got Janice and Leonard doing their thing. You still got Jeff Frank up in Canada doing his thing. You got Ryan Johnston up in Kansas City. And the list goes on and on. Brian Kerner, list goes on and on, right? Sean Hancock's doing some stuff, good stuff down there in Mississippi. You got the boys in Florida, rocking and rolling. So there's always going to be good stuff there, okay? So I think what it is now, I think it's great because the simple fact that there's nobody tied to anybody. Yeah, you're going to have, PALs, you're going to have Breslin wrapped into that, Dave Chafee wrapped into that, I get that. But for the common puller, like myself, there's no contracts to be had. We can go compete anywhere we want to. And that's what it all comes down to, right? So there's always that. And the last question. This is a loaded question, so here it is. Question number 4 for the 4-way. Jody, will the IFA be a real world title? Okay, I had a question like this on Uncle John's show last week when he had Cobra on. And, here's the thing. I'm not naive to the thing. There's going to be some countries that probably won't be able to leave. It's taking place next month up in Orlando, Florida, by the way, IFA Worlds. And you have to know that, how can I put this? I'm going to compete there because all I got to do, I got 2 jobs. Show up and win. That's it. All the other stuff is details, okay? If I win, and it's sad because we do live in a society where people hate. That's just the way it is, But I'm not naive to it. If I win that world title, I'm not going to sit there and put an asterisk by it. I'm not going to sit there and go, I'm the real world title. I'm not going to do that. But you know what? Instead of saying I'm a world, if I happen to win this thing in the Masters, instead of saying I won the world title, I'm going to say I won the IFA world title. Dude, WASP's not going to have a world title this year. So can you really hit on IFA? No. There are going to be some people saying, yeah, you won, but this person wasn't there or that country wasn't there and this, that, and the other, And I get that. And the fact that, hey, you didn't have to qualify. All you do is pre-register. Yeah, I get that too. And this is the very early stages. This will be the second one because the first one, 2019 in Poland, that was the first IFA World Championship. So keep that in mind. They're going to have meetings. We already had the IFA Nationals this past year up in June, up in Irving, Texas. So now we have that solidified. So next year, IFA Nationals will be a qualifier for the IFA World. So yeah, it's going to be skeptical. I think people are going to sit back and kind of wait and see how this thing unfolds, and then they'll start making their minds because at this point, hanging out with WAF, and I don't want to get in trouble, but people are getting banned, referees and athletes getting banned. It's like, why sit there and hold them hostage? People just want to compete and pull, and that's what it comes down to. So the IFA gives them that platform, gives them that opportunity to go ahead and compete. So why not? So I'm going to say, yes, it's going to be a world title because after all, how many people went to Petaluma back in the day and said, hey, they were claiming those world titles, knowing that at the same time during that whole calendar year, you still had the WAF world title. So, it all depends on how you look at things. So, again, that's how I feel about the IFA. So, going forward, those were your 4 questions. I answered them. Hope you enjoyed it. And again, to make sure this thing keeps rolling, It depends on you guys, right? So, four-way. Episode 2 will come pretty soon. I think I got 4 more questions, but I'm going to need you guys' help to keep this thing rolling. So again, subscribe. Jody Chocolate Thunder Williams on YouTube. If you got any questions, please do so at the bottom. Ask me some questions. I'll write them down. Or you can get a hold of me on Facebook and message me those questions. And we'll keep this thing rolling because without y'all, there ain't no me. So with that being said, I know this is not Arm Talk, but it's an extension of Arm Talk. I see ya when I see ya. Y'all have a good day. Hope you enjoyed the first episode of 4-Way. Take care. How you shut this thing off? Oh, my battery went off, so I'm going to have to manually do this.